All right. So we are going to be talking about what is next for Max Holloway and Justin Gaethje, because after the fan service fight that went way different than most of us expected, they've both released statements. Max Holloway has talked about what it's like being counted out. He knew he was the underdog in that one. Gaethje is still wanting to fight. He says now he seems a little more diminished. He's being really realistic about what he's going through in the fighter's realm. And you have Max even giving Justin Gaethje credit for knocking him down. Even though on the scorecards, because I checked the next morning and realized that they didn't count it as a knockdown, but even Max has gone on record to say that I don't know how they didn't score that as a knockdown, because Max gives that shot credit. And it's interesting because the UFC won't even acknowledge before Max Holloway the first time he's actually been dropped by a shot in his career. Even Volkanovski wasn't able to put him down like that. Like, that's how tough Max Holloway is. But for real, Max Holloway, definitely one of the best fighters to ever do it. Definitely his stock has shot up relentlessly. Even on UFC 5, he's got 4.5 stars on the lightweight division. He always had just 4, because anytime he moved up to 155 against Dustin Poirier, people just kind of doubted what it was he was doing. Now, was he able to beat Khabib? I don't know. That would have been an interesting fight. But there's a lot of what ifs. I think when you catch enough bad moments, it's easier for people to count you out. And these fighters, the last person to count themselves out is themselves. So with Justin Gaethje, I think that he needs to take some time and take a step back, because I don't know where he sits right now. We got to see how he recovers from the damage and see a new opponent, because if he comes back against the wrong one, it could mean, if he were to probably take a Dustin Poirier trilogy right now, I think it would be a little more detrimental than it would be beneficial. Even though they're one apiece, I still think that Dustin Poirier would have a little bit more edge based on a lot of the damage that Gaethje took. And then Max Holloway, speaking of damage, I never thought he would be able to do this, because after that third Volk fight and all the damage that he took, I was anticipating Allen to hit a Max that was not going to be the same Max that we recognized. But that's why I feel Max has earned the actual title BMF out of all the people who have held that belt, because he has recovered from damages that would put other fighters away on their careers for good, and he still shut everyone down. And then the best part is he even acknowledges where he got dropped before the UFC scorecards do. So honestly, what I think should happen is after Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor, he should fight the winner of that fight. And it most likely will be Conor, in my opinion, just because stylistically, Michael Chandler is such a sloppy striker that a precision striker like Conor would be able to catch him with something. That's my fear. Depends on how the fight goes, how Michael Chandler wants to play it. But since McGregor shot for a takedown against Poirier after saying no takedowns, I feel like Michael Chandler would love to drown him and cheese him until he is lactose intolerant. That's a bad pun. But let's say Conor McGregor proves that he can come back from partying and tweaking on camera and acting with Jake Gyllenhaal to get a meaningful win against Michael Chandler, which it would be a meaningful win. A lot of people are counting him out right now, rightfully so. If he were to get that win, I think he'd prove a lot of doubters wrong. However, I do think that he is a betting favorite for that fight, at least for me right now, because we tend to count these guys out. But if Conor proves me right and wins this fight, I think a rematch between him and Max Holloway is definitely earned, because not only can Max absolutely win that fight beyond a shadow of a doubt, he's earned that payday and that red panty night, because he has come back from dark chapters. He has always been there for the fans, and he's going to continue to be there for the fans. But that's what I think's on the table next for Max. And Max, way to count where you got dropped before the UFC scorecards did. You got some humility, brother, and I will always tune in to see your fights. Peace out.